we finished with the Buffalo Bills, and
Super Bowl or bust, baby.
I
Super Bowl or
well,
bust. It's hard
it,
not to say that. It is. I mean, it like last year was their reset. You know what I mean? Like, and they went through it and they took on all the dead money and now they've invested back into the roster. And I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, is this the best team that Josh Allen's played on? He's obviously at the peak of his powers. Um, I don't know. I mean, like the schedule is favorable. Like I don't know how you would look at this and not say they should have home field through the playoffs based on like what the other teams are dealing with, the other top contenders in the AFC are dealing with. They should be the number one seed in the AFC.
yeah, right. I mean, and granted, we can fall into that trap of they have a Bosa on the team now, and it's but I
Right,
think
but
that we need to back up there because that to me is not, whether it was Von Miller or whether it was
well,
Joey Bosa, I don't know what we're gonna get out of him, right?
well,
I'm
I also think they have the formula with the way they managed Von Miller to try to get the most out of Von Miller at the very end, right?
right.
Where he wasn't playing very much. And like that's going to be the formula with Bosa. You know what I mean? It's like you don't need him to play 90% of the snaps. Like he's going to be in a rotation with Rousseau and Epinesa and like Landon Jackson. We'll see if they can get something out of him as a rookie. Like they've got real depth on their defensive line, you know? Like I think they did great in the draft in that sense too. Like to go get TJ Sanders and Deion Walker, like I think two guys that were underdrafted, and that's after addressing the corner need in the first round. Like this really sets up. I mean, it's hard for me not to look at this team and see the things they've addressed and see the job they've done developing young players and not say, what's their over under? I mean, it's got to be like 11.5, right?
Bills. I'm going to Google this. Bills over under illegal offshore sports book.
There you go.
2025. All right, here we go. 11 and a
Where's
half.
Yeah. Oh, I nailed it. There you go. So that's what the Caymans are saying about the Bills. I agree with the Caymans on this one. Like I don't know. Like I think this is a really, really good team. And look, like here's the other part of it. It's okay to have high expectations because you only have so many chances like this with a quarterback like the one you have. So I would say this for the Ravens. I would say this for the Bengals. I would say this for the Chiefs. Like, when you've got that special player at that position and you've built yourself a team that's capable of supporting that player, you should be expecting big things. And they've been knocking on the door. So I'm not afraid to say Super Bowl or bust with them.
Just make it. Just make it. I almost don't care if you win it. Just make it. But again,
Yep.
It's hard because once we get to especially in the AFC, once you get to the second round of the AFC playoffs, it's one play that decides these games. It's Mark Andrews dropping the ball in the end zone, and forgive me for saying that. I know it's a shitty thing to say, but it's like it's one play. It's a fumbled snap. It's a bad tipped. That's what it is.
If they open with a win in Baltimore on Sunday Night Football, they should be 6-0 going into their bye. And they go to Carolina coming out of their bye. And then they get the big game with the Chiefs. So this is a team that could be 7-0 with the Chiefs coming in on November 2nd. I mean, I look at it like, so again, Baltimore's a huge game right off the bat, right? And we'll see. I mean, they beat Baltimore in the playoffs. They got their doors blown off by them in the regular season last year, right? So that's a coin flip, no doubt. But then at the Jets, Dolphins at home, Saints at home, Patriots at home, at Atlanta. What do you think? 7-0 or 6-0, or I guess 7-0 go against the Chiefs, right?
But then it's always like, don't start. I don't know.
I just like to look at it like, if you're the Bills, like it'd be really nice to have in the last season of Highmark Stadium, right? It'd be really nice to have an AFC Championship game there.
Yeah,
because you haven't had
especially
one yet. Like the last one was probably Jim Kelly was the quarterback, I think, right?
poor Bills. But this is it. This is why you do it. And this is
Yeah.
why you're here. Underdog is one of the best places to make picks during playoff basketball. It's the leading place to make all of your sports picks, and now you can play in your state. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like points, assists, and so much more. Once your picks feel good, you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Underdog is super easy to use. I downloaded the app, not hard to make my picks and to get into the game. NBA Finals, for example, I'm looking at SGA for higher than 27 points. Tyrese Halliburton beat my Knicks. Boo, lower than two three-pointers. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code MMQB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code MMQB. You must be 18 years or older, 19 years or older in Alabama or Nebraska, 19 years or older in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Are you concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Okay, so I'll throw one last scenario out at you. They lose again in the conference title game, but if you're a fan, you lose again in the conference title game. However, McDermott is lights out. Josh Allen's lights out. And you get absolutely, totally hosed by officiating.
Right.
Do you take it? Like, can you discern that as a fan from, okay, this is almost as good as making it, even though it
all right,
sucks? But then you could argue that
I would say, as a logical person, I would say yes.
Right.
But I'm also coming off of Ohio State being like all in on a season, and like how empty that would have felt if they had lost to Texas or Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Like, so like I would understand a Bills fan feeling pretty crappy if like everything went right and that was the way it ended. You know what I mean? Like I'm with them on that. I would totally get that. Like as a logical person, I would say yes. Like, yeah, I mean, there's some things that are just out of your control. But I can understand where a fan would be pretty down about that sort of thing too.
Oh, poor Bills. We began this podcast saying that we're going to be marked and measured, and we ended it by saying, Sean McDermott, if you don't make it to the GD Super Bowl, I don't care how good you are in the new Hallmark movie, you're out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's fine.